Thank you for joining me. All right, how do we build a practice session for Tai Chi? Now that we've been through 20 some odd lessons or something like that, it's probably time we discuss this. But fortunately now we have all of the elements that I would say constitute a good practice session. So first thing that we want to do is make sure we got our space, right? And being that this happens in a chair, we don't need a lot of space. And I've purposely been setting this whole thing up in a corner to prove that you really don't need a lot of space. You basically just need a corner. We don't even need a huge amount of room out to either side or anything like that. This will also help us later on as we go through our practice, because basically everything is either happening straight ahead of us or 45 degrees out to this side or 45 degrees out to that side, i.e. a corner. Anytime we're twisting about 45 degrees, so I can face off in that direction along that wall, and I can face off in that direction along that wall. Just gives me a nice point of reference, but it's also not necessary for you to be in a corner. If your chair happens to be in the middle of the wall, great. If it's in the middle of an open room, great. Anything works, as long as it is a comfortable space for you. You might want to figure a way to limit interruptions, put your phone away, or put it on silent mode, or whatever. And then, honestly, anything that you just do to make you feel comfortable, if you're an incense burner or a candle person, or you like aromatherapy or death metal, if it helps you relax, then that's probably the thing to do. From there, we're going to get ourselves comfortable. We're going to do all those same sorts of processes, little checklist things that we go through. You know, are our feet comfortable? Are our toes pointed straight ahead? Everything, you know, down here sort of loose and relaxed, but, you know, sitting solid. It's not drifting off anywhere. I'm not anything like that. My sit bones are right into the chair. Sometimes an uncomfortable chair is actually a real good feedback device to let you know you're on those proper sit bones. You know, we can do that stuff that we did early on, you know, rocking our pelvis, making sure that it's in just the right place. Okay, yeah, there we go. I could have adjusted a little bit. We want to be tall through the top of the spine, feeling like our head's going to float away, or we're getting picked up by our ears, or, you know, the guy from Up came and tied a balloon to the top of our head, and that's keeping us up there. Shoulders are down and relaxed. Right? Basically, we're just centering ourselves up and preparing to do some work. Then typically in, you know, a proper classroom setting, there would be a little sort of opening salute sort of thing you would do for your Sifu or Laosher, or just some sort of little, okay, everybody's here, we're doing the thing now. And what I've been doing this whole time is giving you a little bit of a Kung Fu salute. And that is used all throughout Chinese martial arts. There's a couple of different variations of it, probably thousands of variations of it, but they are going to generally follow a similar pattern in the fact that you're going to make a fist with your right hand, and you're going to cover that fist with your left hand. Sometimes your fist is straight up, or, you know, maybe you're pressing out there. This fist can be, this palm can, your fingers can be relaxed over the top or straight up and down. Lots and lots of variations of it. The one I particularly like is, because this is a Tai Chi thing, on the fist, you open it up, so you got a nice little hole going on in there, and you take the thumb of the other hand and you put it in that hole, and then you close up over the top. And if you do that, you get this sort of action going on, which, if you squint sideways, oh, where's my chair? There it is. At it long enough, it looks a little bit like a yin-yang Tai Chi symbol. So, Tai Chi salute, a little bit of a Tai Chi symbol thing going on there. All right, now that we're ready to get into class, we're gonna do a little bit of a warm-up. And the warm-up can be pretty much anything that we like. You know, if you got stiff shoulders, maybe you want to do some shoulder rolls sort of thing. If your wrists are bugging you, you know, maybe do a little Bhangra. Get this nice and loose and relaxed and warmed up. If you need work on your ankles, you know, do ankle circles, whatever you like. You can do them how you're used to doing them. I would encourage you might want to try doing things in a little bit more of a Tai Chi way to just kind of keep the mindset going. So if, for instance, I'm doing an ankle circle, you know, maybe I've got it up here, I'm doing a circle this way. So I would breathe in nice and slow on the way up. And when I get to the top, I'm going to transition my breath to the out breath. I'll let it go down. Breathe in. And out. So, you can use any warm-up you like, anything that you have done before, and you can do it as you've done it before, or you can add a little Tai Chi pizzazz to it if you like. Next up, I'm going to say, even if you don't do the stuff we've done up to this point, if you have time to do one thing and one thing only, the most important thing you can do is holding a tree. Right? So this is the most important part of our practice. It's the foundation of absolutely everything, and almost nobody does it. But if you want the benefits of Tai Chi, 90% of them, it comes from here. So, if you got 5 minutes, spend 5 minutes doing this. If you've got 10 minutes, spend a couple of minutes setting yourself up, doing a tiny little bit of a warm-up, 5 minutes of this, and then a couple of minutes afterwards to just do a little bit of a cool down, a little bit of movement, whatever it is, and that's your 10-minute session. This is the most important part. All right? Never sacrifice this for anything else. Everything else is less important than this. Spending the time aligning your bones, getting your structure straight, allowing things to relax, allowing things to change, to move, your shoulders to drop, your spine to straighten, your head to get taller, your arms to get longer, your legs to get longer. Everything gets better the more time you spend in this. That's not to say you start off by trying to spend an hour doing this. You always start off a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there. Eventually you start sticking some of those sessions together and you do 3 or 4 minutes here, 3 or 4 minutes there, working your way up, gradually, doing like 4 or 5 minute sessions over the course of a day, doing a couple of 10-minute sessions over the course of the day. And if you can get to the point where you're doing this for 20 minutes a day, just hanging out, breathing, allowing things to relax, allowing things to change, this will be the greatest gift you can give to yourself. This will change your life. So never sacrifice anything for this practice. That being said, once we've done this practice, we breathe in, we breathe out, we let our arms down slowly. We breathe in, opening up nice and wide, palms down, breathing out, allowing all of our tension to drain out of our body, and down. And from there, relaxation. From there, we probably want to move. And if you know one move, do that move. If that move is our opening move, do that move. Do it for a couple minutes, do it for 5 minutes. Totally fine. If you know our whole form, by the time we get to the end of the series, you'll definitely know this whole form very, very well. You can do the whole form, right? The whole thing. Hold the ball, palm, hold the ball, double, roll back, press, push, on and on and on. You can do your whole Tai Chi series. Use that to move yourself around. But whatever you're doing, next, just enjoy some movement, right? Spend some time just working out the kinks. Don't worry too much about the details, anything like that. Just get some movement happening. After you've done that, if you still got time, now we're going to start worrying about some of the details, right? This might be where you take one movement that you want to work on, something you want to get better at, something you want to perfect, something that you have been doing really well on, you just want to spend a little more time with it, get some of those finer points, or it's the new move that you started working on in class last night or in the last session and whatever. And you want to go over those details and you really want to drive those into yourself. And so you spend an extended period of time on one movement, kind of like we did in milestone number 3, where we spent 5 minutes just doing that opening move, right? And we worked on it detail by detail. So starting off from the very basics, hands go up with that lean, hands go down. Next, we added that circular motion with the ball, right? And we put the two of those together. So you hold the ball, drop the ball, circular movement. Right? Then we added in that circular movement in our Dantian, almost forgetting about the hands. Those are taking care of themselves now. And spending the rest of that time just focusing on the internal mechanics, the internal mechanism, that thing that's going on inside our body. That's the important part. Just working on that circle, right? So, set the stage, do your little introduction, salute, do a little bit of a warm-up, tree. Once you've done your tree, move around a little bit, just kind of get into the flow, do your form, do some moves, whatever, just sort of random as your body's going, how does this thing need to move? Once you've done that, then you get into the detail stuff, work on one move, work on it piece by piece, every little bit of it. If you're doing our single ward off that we've done, work on one hand, right? Other side. Right? Put it together. Spend some time with that one movement. After that, have fun, right? Whatever you want to do, wherever the inspiration takes you at that point, just go with it. If you want to do the form again, great. If you want to go back to this, great. If you want to, bust a move, great. Whatever it is, change the music up, put on some disco, just move again afterwards. And then once that's settled down, return to a nice neutral place, finish up your session, give yourself a little something to close with. And in our next session, we're going to do a demo of that whole thing. We'll see you then.